Good afternoon, everybody. I want to say a big thank you to every person that has taken the chance to be here today to our busy schedule. I'd like to say thank you to every one of us. We are truly grateful for your presence here. So please, if you can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up so I know I'm speaking to you guys? All right. All right. Thank you very much. So, we're not going to waste too much of our time in today's meeting. Basically, we already saw the flyer, I believe, and the demo section is basically going to be us having an insight on how we're going to access loan from the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And before we'll dive into today's meeting, I would like to thank the special advisor to secular to climate change and circular economy for granting us the opportunity to have such a section. Though she's absent today, but her schedule can be really, really tight. So that's why she's not here with us. But if she also has the opportunity to join us before the end of today's meeting, she's going to, have a one-on-one word with us. I would also like to thank Ms. Oyin Egbeyemi, the Director for Programs and Coordination at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. She will be our guest speaker today. So I believe we all have our questions that will be, giving her to like share more light on how we can easily get access to this finance. And trust me, this is not like going to be like a waste of time for anybody that has, taken his or her time to be here today, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, which I really want all of us to like take advantage of. So without any further ado, Ms. Oyindamola, I would like you to, take the floor and, share with us how access to finance with LSETF is about. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and I hope we're all having a great weekend. This is just to say thank you to the Special Advisor and the Office of Climate Change and the Circular Economy for this opportunity to be here with you all. I think I think the circular economy is a very interesting space to play in. I'm an engineer by training, and I actually studied sustainability in engineering, sustainable engineering, actually, when I was at university. This was a very important course and project in my second year. And imagine that being many years ago and seeing the relevance of it even till today, because it's basically a long-term initiative or a long-term journey. Sustainability actually has that in its definition. So I'm glad that you all are part of the economy network. It goes to show that you're working in the right direction, because we need to ensure that we're making use, or rather optimizing the use of all our resources in order to run good and profitable businesses. Now, the reason why I'm here today is because I'm aware that in as much as we're trying to optimize resources and we're trying to, make the use of everything that we have, we actually do need that additional support in terms of access to finance, for example, in order to invest in certain tools that we need to make sure that our businesses thrive. For example, if we need to invest in maybe a small solar panel or something that would make sure that we're being more energy efficient, even financially efficient as a result. These are things that we at LSETF are here to support with. So we do have an access to finance program, and the purpose of this discussion was asking the SM, Ms. Oshodi, do you have anyone who might need some finance to support their businesses? And the answer to that question is yes. We do have that programs that are available to meet those needs. Now, I'm going to share my slides just to give a brief background about the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and our Access to Finance program. So I'll just go to... Kindly confirm if you can all see my screen.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. All right, I'm just changing the mode to slideshow. Okay. So at LSETF, our mandate is essentially to create an enabling environment for job and wealth creation in Lagos State. That is it at the very basic level in terms of speaking about our mandate. We want to help create jobs, and we do this through various programs. So just going back to what we're about, we were established in 2016 by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund law. So we are actually founded by law, and we do have like a parent ministry, which is the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. But we work hand in hand with them to, facilitate different programs and do the best so that we can for Lagos State residents. Now, we are we are here to help create employment and entrepreneurship opportunities in Lagos State. We also want Lagos State residents to realize their aspirations by providing leverage and access to finance. I think this mission speaks very well to the purpose for which today's meeting has been set out. We are here to support with that flagship program. I call the Access to Finance program our legacy program, and that is, in as much as we run various other ones, that is one of the key ones that people know us for, because it's what we started with and it's what we continue to sustain over time. Okay. Just going back to the other programs, we did start with Access to Finance. We have an employability program through which we train. We work with various vocational training centers in the States on vocational skills, so carpentry, hospitality, fashion and design, and so on. That's one of our programs. We have a Lagos Innovates program, which is like a tech startup program whereby we provide, for example, hub vouchers for people who have ideas and need a space to work at and develop their ideas. We also do some market stimulation, whereby we provide access to markets for MSMEs within our networks. So this is something that we can even still do some work with the Office of Climate Change and Circular Economy on. And then also leverage. This is just through ensuring that we are strategic in our communication platforms and how we engage with people within our networks and those we want to invite into our networks. So we have achieved quite a lot so far. We have created jobs, both directly and indirectly through our programs. We have also saved jobs through some of our intervention programs. So we have some, I'll call them some programs that come in as a result of different states of the economy. For example, we had a COVID-19 recovery grant scheme that has run even up until earlier this year, and that has helped people recover from the losses as a result of the pandemic. We also have that's on one side. Then we have a business support network through which we do advisory sessions, clinics, master classes on areas that are relevant to businesses. In fact, we had the SA run a session on sustainability with our business support network, and that was really well attended. Perhaps some of you were even in the session as well, but that's one of the sessions that we provide so that people get information about topics that are relevant to what what is going on in the economy and how that affects businesses. Of course, by virtue of the programs we do, especially the access to finance programs, we help people to become taxpayers so that they can formalize their businesses better. Then we also help again with the employability programs through which we've trained over 17,000 young people in Lagos State. And through our workspace vouchers, Idea Hub, and the tech programs, we've helped over 400 tech startups to thrive in the state. So the main program I'm going to talk about here is access to finance. That's the purpose of today's session. And that's essentially through our loan programs. So I'm going to describe the features and then I'll describe how you can go about accessing our loan program. Now, these loan programs are available for all residents of Lagos State. Now I'm going to describe the features. We have essentially three main types of loans, and I'll describe the fourth one that you also see here. So the three main types are our MES, ME, and SME loans. Now, the MES loans, that's the smallest type of loan category. And this is essentially for people who are just starting their businesses. They're very new into businesses, which is when they're very new into the entrepreneurship route and perhaps need some hand-holding at the beginning. So we make this micro fund available for small business owners. For this loan category, you don't even need to have your CAC or a bank statement. What we really, really want from you here is to demonstrate that you have a skill. And the way of demonstrating that is through a certificate in that skill that you have developed. And of course, we'll ask a few questions before then giving you, before then qualifying you to be able to access the loan. For our micro enterprise loan, again, for small businesses in Lagos, these would be for businesses that have just started but are not far into work, maybe businesses that are about a year into operations. Now, these businesses are able to access a larger amount of funding and a larger amount of funding. I'll describe more of the features on the next slide, but I just wanted to talk about the basics in terms of the categories and the amount allowable in each of those categories. Now we have our SME loan, which is for a higher amount of money. This is starting from 500, it's actually 500,001 naira to 5 million naira. This is for registered and established mid-sized businesses in Lagos State. So mid-sized is, well, it really depends on how you want to describe it, but we'll determine that based on the submissions you get from us and how much you apply for. Now, this is for businesses that are registered, they have their CAC documents, you have a business bank account that demonstrates your ability and affordability to pay back the loan after it has been granted to you. Now, we have certain special loan products, and the one that is mentioned here is the LSEFT tax loan. Now, this is the loan that is made available as a result of our relationship with Senator Tokunbo Abiru. He basically was able to work with some financial institutions and provide funding for businesses in the Lagos East Senatorial District. So these are the local governments under these districts are Epe, Ibejuleki, Ikorodu. I can't remember the last three, but it's essentially every LGA in Lagos East only that's allowed to apply for this particular fund, because of course that's where his responsibilities lie. One thing I need to really emphasize for these loans is the key feature being the single digit interest rate. So this is a single digit interest rate over a period of 12 months minimum. It could span up to about 36 months as demonstrated on these slides, but it's a single digit interest. And what that means is that if, for example, you borrow 100,000 naira from LSETF, it means that in total, you're going to be paying back 109,000 naira based on the 9% interest rate. And you're paying that 109,000 naira over the 12-month period. So if you divide 109,000 naira by 12 months, I think that's about 8,000 naira you'll be paying back per month in order to service your loan. So I think in terms of looking at the economic and financial landscape that we're currently undergoing in Lagos and Nigeria, it's quite a reasonable, it is actually a very reasonable interest rate because MPR right now is, in fact, sometimes I even lose track of what MPR is, but I know it's in the late 20s. It should be in the late 20s by now. That's a 20% per year, which is more than double the 9% we provide. I also know that from microfinance banks across the country, you probably wouldn't get an annual interest rate that's a single digit. It's possible that the annual interest rate will probably, it could even be up to like 50%. But when you break it down into months, it might seem little. But this broken down into a monthly interest rate for a period of 12 months is essentially 0.75% per month, which we think is affordable for most businesses if you have your business structure right. Now, I'm going on to describe the requirements in order to apply for our loans. And while I'm describing this, I'll be comparing these documentation requirements to what, for example, a commercial bank might ask you to bring forward. Because one thing that we try to do at LSETF is we try to make things as simple as possible, but whilst also ensuring that we are putting the right structures in place. It is very important for us to ensure that these structures are well placed so that we're not only supporting businesses financially, but we're also supporting businesses through the support that would boost them to be able to potentially even apply for a loan from a commercial bank in the future, because our own loan limit is 5 million naira, but from commercial banks, you could even get more money. But if you start from somewhere and you build your business up through the formalized structuring, you'll be able to have like a good foundation and good footing such that you're confident enough to go to a bank and get more funding, or even, so you're not even just a bank, or even formalize yourself in such a way that you can approach investors or some other grant schemes such that you're demonstrating, such that you're demonstrating your a business structure that is sustainable, both financially and even by virtue of being environmentally sustainable, and thereby accessing even more funding. So at the very basic level for the ME, MES, and SME loans, we need to, in order to apply for it, you need to have your Lagos State Residents Association ID, and you can get this from the LASTRA office. I think the LASTRA offices at most local government areas, most local government area offices in Lagos State. So you can have that sorted out, or you can let us know at LSTF if you need support doing this, and then we can get you in touch. We also need your tax identification number. So we need to be sure that you're registered with LIRS. For the MES, like the startup loans, you don't necessarily need to have started paying taxes just yet, but we need to be sure that you are actually registered so that, again, like I said, we know that you are building up your business such that it is becoming more and more formalized. So that is where the taxation comes in. So then we will be getting you into the taxpayer bracket in Lagos State. Now, we also need a valid means of identification, and this is a national identification card. So your national identification number, NIN, passports, your passport data page, your driver's license, voter's card, those sorts of national identification cards are what we need to see on your application form. We also, of course, need your bank verification number, just so that we're sure that you have active bank accounts and you're officially registered with a bank. We would then need your passport photograph because we want to, identify who is applying for the loan. So that is the basic for all types of loan applications that we have at LSETF. Now, like I said earlier, for the MES, which is the Micro Enterprise Startup Loan, for anyone who wasn't here when I was describing it, we want to encourage people who are just starting up, who have just attained a skill. Maybe you just learned something along fashion design in the green economy space. I see that the OCCE is quite active in that space. So perhaps you have a certificate from a vocational training center on that. So that is that's one of the documentation we will take on for the MES applicants. It's just that the funding limit is between 50 and 250,000 naira. Now for like I said, for the MES, we don't require you to submit a bank statement, your CAC registration, or even your TIN, because we don't expect that you've already started operating. We want to encourage you to start moving in that direction, though. Now, for the ME and SME, we do need a bank statement, particularly for the SME, because we assume that you're a more formalized business and would need to, because of course you're applying for a larger amount of money, so we'll need to understand your ability to pay back the loan. And this doesn't go to say that we're not looking at that for other loan application categories, because we would ask certain questions that would demonstrate to us that, okay, these people are able to pay back over the period of time, over the tenure of the loan that they've applied for. So we'll need bank statements for ME loan applicants and SME loan applicants. Ideally, this bank statement should be your business bank statement. But for ME applicants, which is micro enterprise, if you don't have a business bank statement, we can accept a personal bank statement. It's just that we would have to be sure that we would have to look at the activity. We would have to look at the activity in your accounts that demonstrates your ability to pay back a loan. It is preferred to have a business bank statement so that we can see that the business itself can be operational and is better and is formalized. Now, we also need your CAC registration. Like I said, for SME loans, we need your CAC registration. We also need your tax identification number for SME loans for the more formalized businesses. And then we also need to know how long you've been in operation for. I think at this point, it is worth mentioning that for now, our SME product is closed, but it's a temporary closure because we had far more applications than we expected at the beginning of the year come through. So we're working very quickly through those applications. And then once the portal is open again, we'll be sure to inform businesses and people within our networks that they can now apply for the SME loans. But for now, that is short for now. So the loans from 500,001 and above are short for now, but we do have the ones for 50,000 to 500,000 still available and accessible for you all to apply. So that is it in terms of the description of the loan categories and the requirements. In order to apply for a loan, you can either go online to loans.lst, sorry, I'll repeat that, loans.lsetf.ng. There you can apply for our loans. If you do have any difficulty with accessing the application form, you can actually go to one of our liaison offices. We have liaison offices in all 26 local government areas and also at 6 LCDAs across the state. So we actually have we have one more office at the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment, which is our parent ministry. So we have 27, I would call them branch offices branch offices, and of course we have our head office in Oregon in case you need additional support. We also have our website, our social media, and contact details, which I can make available to Bolutife, Yemi, and the team, and they can thereafter share with you. But this is everything at a very basic level. And right now, I'll be happy to take any questions that you might have about the loan features and any other thing that you might want to know about the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Okay, we have one hand up. Okay, Bolutife and Yemi, how do we do this? Do we take questions based on hands raised, or do you have another system?
Okay. Tife, do you want to take on that, or do you want me to do that? Okay, why was the comment? I think it's so. I'm thinking if by the time you're through, then we can move to the Q&A session.
Well, I'm actually through, so
okay.
I'm ready for Q&A. Yes.
Okay. All right. If you are there, kindly just unmute and carry on, please.
So thank you very much, Miss Oyin Damola. That was really insightful, and I can see several hands up. So what we're going to do is we'll be looking to take no more than 7 questions, and from these 7 individuals is going to be 1 question, so that we don't like run over time too. So I can still see 2 people's hand up. So is it just 2 people that want to ask questions, or do we have more hands? So we're looking to taking 7 questions. So if we see more hands up, we can go ahead. If not, we will just go with these 2.
Okay. Yes, I believe Amina's hand was up first, and then
Yes.
well, I see more hands up. Okay, it's also
Okay.
written in the right order. We have 6 hands up now, so we have
We just have
room for 1 more
left.
person.
Yes.
Okay, we have a 7th person. Akeredolu
Okay,
Ale.
so
Yes. Okay.
So thank you very much, guys, for wanting to ask questions. So for the remaining people that will be having questions, please you can send me a direct message on WhatsApp. Then I'm going to revert that to Miss Oyin, and then I'm going to be sending you people your feedback. So thank you very much for understanding, because we don't want to take too much of our time here. So Miss Amina, I'm going to be unmuting you now, so you can ask your question. Please, just 1 question from all of us, just 1 question, and we should make it brief and fast. Thank you very much.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank
Good
you, Mrs.
afternoon.
Winda, and thank you, every other people. I'm Amina by name. My brand is Their Fabric Samo. I am privileged to be here because this is one of those webinar I usually like to attend, and I'm very happy I'm here with you guys. Yes, I applied for LSETF loan, but I saw that it was 500,000 I applied for. Can I still, and it's still under review since March. I don't know why it's still on review, but in review. But I would like to know if I can still, because now that I'm getting to see that it is from 500,000 to I think 5 million. Can I still increase the limit if it's possible? I will appreciate that. And I hope this thing is really going to work for we entrepreneurs, because sometimes, Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your question, Amina. So what I'm going to ask you to do is please send your loan ID to Bolutife and the team, so that we can actually go back and track that application. There are many applications that are under review, but we are working on them. So fortunately for you, you had applied for an SME loan before the portal closed. So it is indeed under review, and it is going through the steps of the processes. But if you are able to provide your loan application number, we would be able to tell you where it is. Okay, in order to get your loan application number, you need to go into your email. For any activity that occurs during your loan application process, you should receive an email indicating what the status is. So please check your email for your loan ID. And for anyone else who applies, always just take note of that loan application ID so that we're able to track it on your behalf as well. Okay, does that answer your question? Amina, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma. But how do I get
Okay.
the first contact? Is it after the class or after the webinar?
Okay. The fact that you were invited here, I'm assuming that they have your contact details as well. So, Tife, how do we work out the feedback? Although I'll take your detail on here now, but I would also still like for us to have like a feedback process so that we're coordinated.
So I'm going to be putting my WhatsApp number on the chat for this meeting right now. So for those that don't have my number personally, you can just reach me through that number. Amina, did you get that, Ma?
Yes, yes. Thank you
Okay,
very
so you
much.
can reach out. Yes, you can reach out. We can track your application, and just kindly bear with us because we know one thing I also need to mention in a way of responding to that question is I think it's important that people also understand that there's a process with respect to review of your loan application. So we receive your application. And because of the volume of applications we receive, because the loan is quite an attractive product because of its features, we receive quite a large volume of applications. And what we have to do is take that through a rigorous risk assessment process because we have to, one, check that you'll be surprised at some of the kinds of applications that we get. We have to check that you actually indeed are running a business, because some people would pretend to be someone else and then submit someone else's CAC, that kind of thing. So we do need to make sure that the integrity of our process is adhered to. And then we also need to check, would have like a KYC done on you. So would have one of our business development support partners come and visit, ask you a few questions about perhaps your sales, your revenue, what's your business, or how business is going essentially. It's just to get information to understand, okay, is this person really doing a legitimate business? Does this person genuinely need the support of the loan? Because like I said, some people might apply for the loan, then use it for something else. Some people may not have the level of integrity that we within this network may have. And we do get many of those types of applications, which is why sometimes the process might be a little longer than we expect. But we are indeed working on every application that we get. Okay. All right, next question. So if you have applied for a loan and haven't gotten any feedback, kindly just drop your name and your application number. And thereafter, I'll have the team work on communicating with you. All right. Thank you, Amina. I think the next person is Wasiu.
Yes. Good
Wasiu
afternoon,
Oyedepo.
Mark.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
How are
afternoon.
you?
Yes, I'm a regular of the LSETF.
Fantastic.
I've always been denying the loan, though I want to get the Lagos Innovate. So,
okay.
but the
You were
last,
able to get the Lagos
the
Innovate?
last, yes,
that's
I was
good.
able to get the workspace voucher.
Space
So,
voucher.
but the last, yes. So, but the last one I was denied because I have a running commercial loan, and I actually wanted to switch to you people because the interest are. So, but my question now is that I have already uploaded my documentations before, but I want to update documentations.
Okay.
I want to update. And I wanted to put in some few new ones so that it could get much attractive. But I've not been able to do that. The account, the website is not allowing us to delete a previous documentation and replace it. So can the team work on that? Do you understand?
I understand your question. Yes. So and your name on our database is Wasiu Oyedepo. Okay.
Yeah, that's my name on this.
Okay, no problem. Right. So that might be a technical issue. And one thing I really want to say is I commend you for coming back to apply for the loan